beginning of last week.
Okay.
All right, I call this meeting to order, LaSalle County Finance. We're 2:50 at 9 o'clock. First order of business will be some comment. Are there any citizens who'd like to comment? All right, hearing no citizen comment, we'll move on to approval of the minutes of the prior meeting. Everyone had a chance to review the minutes. They were emailed out. Any changes, discussion on those minutes? A motion to approve those minutes by Rita, second by Tina. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Oh, is there anybody on WebEx? I should ask that. No one has called in. Will we know if someone called in during the meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
I will let you know if somebody calls.
Thank you. All right, next order of business under budget is to first do the new lines. So the new deleted information line request. By chance, does anybody have a copy of this in front of them?
No, I made one
Just
copy.
one?
I was passing it around so people could look at it.
All right, did everybody have a chance to review this prior to the meeting?
I didn't see that.
Nope, it's totally fine. A lot of these obviously are like most of them, grants,
CARES Act is in there too.
the CARES Act. Okay, who wants to see it?
I'll look at it just.
All right. The next one would be, while that's going around, line and fund transfers. Does everybody have a copy of that? Everyone has a copy of that? Let's spend a minute going through that.
They don't have a copy of the summary. Can I talk about the lines and the transfers real quick?
Sure.
There's a lot of new line items, because we are revamping the health department's line items. We are unable at this point in time to accurately report on our grants with the line items that we have. So the majority of those that are being set up are to revamp that. They have 21 grants, and that does not count the 3 that they're gonna have from the CARES Act. And I don't know if you all have heard of the CURE program. When Illinois was just given $2 billion from the CARES Act, most of that went to the higher population counties and municipalities. And so what was left was $815 million. They have been dispersing that. Part of it came to us via the election for the vote by mail process. And so county clerk got $164,000 for the vote by mail and also $54,000 for postage. Yes. For the county clerk?
Yeah.
They got $164,000 for vote by mail, for that, whatever they have to do for that, printing, machines, that kind of stuff. And then they got $54,000 for postage. So for postage machines or for postage in general. So it's been doled out a little bit at a time. Of course, the health department got $2.8 million in a grant. The CURE program is what's left over. And they're starting, this is only $250 million of it that's gonna be going out. We just got the allocation notice last week, and the county in general is gonna get 1.3 million. The health department's gonna get another don't quote me, 250 or 270,000, I can't remember. Again, this is restricted money that we can only spend in certain ways. I talked to Dave a little bit about that. Because one of the things we're looking at is filtration systems for specifically the courtrooms. I mean, that would be a great upgrade. But anyway, these line items are being set up not only to cover the CARES Act for the nursing home, the county clerk, the health department. It's also to revamp the lines for the health department so that we can accurately track their grants. With the 2.8 million, we have to be in a position where we can track that. So that's why those are being set up. The transfers, for the most part, these are from last month that I did in June, that were approved in May, approved at the June board meeting. So that's why you see such a tremendous list, because there was a lot of catch up in that month from what happened from the beginning of the year and everything else. So these are the transfers that have occurred. They have been done. The ones that Brian has in the summary that he has are the ones that are coming up, much more reasonable. We only have 14 of them instead of 40 something. One of those is a transfer of $600,000 from public safety to the general fund, which is part of the cash flow that we had discussed a long time ago. So.
Joyce, that 1.3 million, can that be used for salaries, or is that?
If they are working on COVID. If it's a public health situation. Julie's doing everything she can to cover that. Yes, we can to a certain extent.
Would anybody like me to go through the summary of the transfers? I know you have it in front of you, but would that help? Maybe, no? Okay. Obviously, she just talked about the $600,000 transfer. There is another transfer for the election scanner, for about $19,000 out of Fund 28.
That's actually part of the CARES Act money for the county clerk. But it's a fixed asset, so it's coming out of 28 being transferred from 97.
And it's award, part of the award of $164,000 from the CARES Act, so it's a grant. The other one is drug enforcement fund of $6,000 for 2019 vehicle. That went through public safety and county property. The next one is highway, just transferring from highway into insurance as risk management of $70,000. That's been through the highway and insurance committee. The next one is nursing home transfer to insurance of $218,000 and some change. That has been through the nursing home and insurance committees.
Question.
Yes.
What was the one on highway again?
The highway one is a transfer of $70,071.54, and that's from the highway department to insurance for risk management.
It's reversed.
Yeah.
It's coming from risk management to the highways, part of the risk management reimbursement. Perhaps I have that on there.
Okay, all right. And then we have an operational transfer between funds of $24.84 for gas utilities. That's been through law and justice and county property. And then we have a transfer from court services to insurance as a grant reimbursement, $76. It's been through law and justice. And a transfer from the drug court, another reimbursement of $76.69 to insurance. Grant reimbursement from IRMRF for $1,000 to Fund 04 IMRF. That's been through law and justice. Another transfer from court services for grant reimbursement for probation of $679 and change to social security. That's been through law and justice. Another grant reimbursement for court services to social security for $258. That's been through law and justice. Another transfer from the drug court for grant reimbursements, May drug court, $258.44 to social security. Another transfer from drug court for another grant reimbursement for $390.53. That's been through law and justice. Another transfer from court services for $390.53 to IMRF. That's been through law and justice. And the last one is transfer from court services grant reimbursement for $1,026.58, and that's going to Fund 16. So law and justice has also been through that. That's all those. So, any questions on those?
Brian, I don't have a question on that, but I'm just curious, is the drug court up and running? Is it taking clients? Do you know?
I don't know the answer to that. Is anyone from law and justice here?
1 month, we're still a month out. Drug court and mental health court, everything's in place. We probably 3 weeks yet.
Okay. As far as the line, let's go back really quick, the line items. I want to get that, kind of get these done in order. So does everybody have a chance to review the new line items, new informational deleted line items? Are there any questions on that? Can I have a motion to approve the new line items?
So moved.
Motion by Gary, seconded by Tina. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. The next thing is the line and fund transfers. Have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Gary, again. Second. Rita. All right. Is there any discussion on those line and fund transfers? Okay, hearing none, all in favor? All right, motion carries. Finally, budget adjustments. Does everybody have the budget adjustments in front of them?
There are no budget adjustments at this point.
No? Well, good. All right, capital asset review. Is there anything with that? Dave, is anything with that going on?
Not yet. It's coming.
Didn't they have did you guys have in county property, somebody go through the buildings?
We have an assessment that was completed. This Friday we'll be meeting to discuss.
Okay.
Gave us 2 weeks to review it and bring any questions to our next meeting.
So, do you have a spare million sit around for next year for capital improvements?
Sure.
Kind of scared me.
It's only green paper.
All right, let's go through 2020 cash flow.
Can I come up?
Sure. You're referring to this right here?
Yes,
Everybody have that copy?
What are we looking at?
this is where it says 2019 at the top. This is just a quickie again to show you 19 to 20. I've underlined on 20 those that have variances. And if you go to the second page on 20 at the bottom, you can see I've written in what those differences are. So, sorry. For 2020, in the month of January, we were actually up 675,000. In February, we were up
Wait, where are you reading that?
on the back page of 20,
Okay, okay, yeah.
there's pencil down at the bottom.
Okay, the very last page,
Yes.
57 of 57, okay.
Yes. So for January at the top, I had to pencil in the months up there. If you look at the column of January down at the bottom, we were up 675,000 for the month of January. February, we were up 53,000. March, I'm sorry, those are expenses that we were up. We were up 675,000 in expenses, we were up 53,000 in expenses for February. In revenue, we were holding our own until March, and then we went down 52,000 in March. And for revenue in April, we went down 207,000. And in May, we went down 526,000. Expenses for April went up 528,000. So we're starting to see the hit a little bit. It's certainly not catastrophic at this point, but certainly starting to see some numbers go down on the revenue side. But along with that, and I just gave you this because the first few taxes are the ones that we're most interested in the general fund, those bring in the most money, so that's why I gave those to you. On the plus side, I think, the one-page budget status report, I just printed the last page for the general fund only, and that's this page. And right now, it's not looking awful. We're at 49% for our revenue. We're about a month behind. So that's not unusual for this time of year. And our expenditures are at 54%. This is at the end of June. So that's the 7th month of the year. So we're holding our own. It's not awful at this point. Any questions? I did, Gary, also find this on the IDOR website, that's the classification of our taxes. And I put some notes on there about the different taxes that we have. For the state tax, agriculture is our biggest generator. For our county tax, the biggest generator is again agriculture. Agriculture and all others, so it lumps the miscellaneous into that too. The public safety tax, which is the end one, is also agriculture and, county sales tax, the 0.25% is also agriculture, is our largest generator on that. And this is for the months of January, February, and March. Would you like to continue to see this report on a quarterly basis?
I think so.
So that kind of is that what you were looking for, Gary? Is what the breakdown was? Because if you close all the restaurants, what's the impact, you know? Kind of lets us know where we're gonna get hit at.
I've got the impact on sales tax. I got the numbers if you want them.
Okay,
So they're good. They're actually, in March it dropped from the year before, 1.4%. In April, it went up 7%. In May, it went up 3%. So this is from Gazzetti.
Can you tell me again the tax types, what's those acronyms represent?
Okay, ST is sales tax.
Okay,
County tax is the 1% tax.
is that the public safety?
No,
No,
Okay,
for unincorporated.
Yes.
1%.
okay,
you can see it below that column I wrote unincorporated, so that's unincorporated. Okay. Then there's the county sales tax, that's unincorporated and unincorporated. County sales tax is countywide and it's 0.25%.
in the CTPS,
That's public safety,
that's public safety.
correct. And that's unincorporated and incorporated.
So I guess as far as the committee, I mean, if revenue is kind of in line where we're at, the expenses are up. So where's the biggest driver there?
On the expenses, I think that COVID has been a huge driver on that. People have been buying a lot of supplies, and I think that's contributed to a lot of the increase in expenses.
What, you haven't turned a lot of it into the government.
No, I have
So
not.
we'll get some reimbursement back on, is that 100% or 75?
No, it's 75% from FEMA. I have a whole calendar that I'm setting up because there's a lot of dates that we have to meet. The CARES Act in particular, is March, I believe, I can't keep them all straight, March 1st to December 31st. The CURE Act is like March 15th through December 30th. FEMA is January 21st through March of next year. And there's all kinds of requirements to this. The election in particular, you've got to file all of your receipts, even though it goes to December 30th. You've got to guesstimate what your expenditures are going to be for December. And you've got to get them in by November 20th. So there's a lot of dates that we have to keep track of on these. Different ones have different drivers. So FEMA in particular kind of covers the entire county. I mean, everyone that buys supplies or has expenditures related to COVID can charge to the FEMA account. But those that have those restricted ones, like the nursing home, that was long-term care, they have specific uses for those. They have to charge according to that. So there's a lot to keep track of.
Tom?
When will the new sales tax start to appear? That you can collect now and mail order and,
The use tax,
right,
we've been getting that.
oh, okay,
We've been getting that.
okay. How long?
January of last year is when it started.
January last year it started.
And I've been watching all of my receipts, especially when I buy online, just to see, make sure they're charging tax on it.
Yeah, but the tax is all over the board. My wife gets stuff on Amazon, sometimes it's 7.5% sales tax, sometimes it's 6.25%.
It's a very complicated tax. There's a lot of complications to it. So it's not, you'd have to look into the details of the sale to figure out how it got to that tax. But it's, we've been getting that. We're actually at like 40,000, I think it was last month on the use tax, because a lot of people were ordering online. So, thank you.
Joyce, I did have one question. Where is pillow tax reflected in your?
It's very minimal. I don't have it on this front page.
Oh, there's no sale, that's just a tax.
That's just a hotel
They
motel
pay
tax. And that goes into Fund 8.
We're not hit by it? We're not hit by it?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure we are, but
It's not significant to our bottom line because it goes into a restricted fund
Okay.
into tourism. So,
It's in Fund 8.
We really have only one salary coming out of that. That we
Is
draw out of. Yeah, so.
But we,
you want to stand up?
No.
Well, how is it coming in, Amanda?
It's very slow, very low. Last couple of months we've gotten nothing. Star Rock is our biggest one.
Yeah.
We didn't get anything from them obviously for 2 months. Then we got like $4,000 for last month. But the way that they've been so busy out there that I'm sure that, this month for June, it'll go back up. As far as like Silverleaf goes, it's nothing, but we'll catch up to it. We're also passing something that we're gonna let them wait till the end of September to make May, June, and July payments so they can catch up if they need to for any reasons, like our smaller bed and breakfasts and stuff like that. We're working on that. But it is lower compared to what we've had prior years, But we've also adjusted some, but plus we don't have funding requests coming in because events are canceling, so it counteracts itself. So our fund is fine.
That's
But-
fine.
We had record numbers at Star Rock.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, but our people staying.
Are they
there.
staying?
Yeah.
That's,
exactly.
That's what
Yeah,
that'd
we'll
be
find
the
out at the
question.
end of the month when they send me the check, and then I'll know.
It'd be interesting what Utica's sales tax does. Because I mean, Love's and Shell is just, the cases is packed every weekend.
Yeah.
They have had record numbers like 2 weekends in a row.
you go to Casey's early in the morning, they're wiped out, completely wiped out.
That's good though.
Thank you, Bruce.
All right, so we got cash flow out of the way. So talking about, we're gonna set up budget meetings, obviously, get started on that. Is there any dates in August, September that do not work for people?
Ask a farmer. that
Just
way.
schedule.
So, we did the really hard work, I think, this last year in establishing a 3-year budget. So, for the first time ever. And, we're gonna see, obviously, Joyce, you're gonna go back to these various departments.
We're gonna have a 10-year out of capital assets.
A what?
A 10-year,
10-year plan?
Yep.
Oh my God.
If nothing breaks, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, okay, so you're gonna meet with these people and then they're gonna come here in August.
the plan is June or July, I'm waiting till after the 10th, because I wanna get the numbers in for our taxes that come in at the beginning of the year, of the month. So we have a little bit of track record here to kind of see where we're headed. And then I wanna meet with the department heads the month of July to get the big sheets going. This year, we're gonna, of course, incorporate the payroll, like we had talked about last year, where I had some, but not all, now we've got all. So all that will be incorporated with it. And then, August will be the committee meetings, and September will be the finance meetings.
Yeah, I think we even get started like late August on a few of them.
Oh, we could.
Yeah, so next month will be our last regular.
That's August calendar.
You are the best. So next month will be the last regular one for a while, and then like we'll probably start, I would say, the last week of August, start scheduling finance meetings and get going on various stuff. Get the little ones done, so they shouldn't change that much. And then September, hammer it, so.
Are you anticipating anything? Are you leaning towards something? I have an opportunity to share information with department heads at this point, so if you have something that's critical or important that you want to give out to these people, it's a good time to do it.
Well, this is gonna be a rare moment where I think we have our labor contracts are all, this is gonna be the 1 year, I think. I think next year I think MAP and FOP, FOP might be up, but MAP might be up. So this is our last year where we'll know exactly how much our labor costs should be.
Yeah, but the labor costs are well.
Oh, well. So, but at least it'll be budgeted.
Well, yeah, we know what it is, but I mean, we're still gonna be out of balance, because they can't cut much more out of their budget. Other than if people retire and they don't replace them.
Right. Well, we were up 800,000 last year.
On labor costs.
This the
In
total.
general.
Oh, in general. So as a committee, we've done a fantastic job trying to manage that. So we'll just ask for more fiscal discipline and try to get us back to where we should be with reserves and stuff.
I think everyone has behaved well during this pandemic time, and I think that our expenses have been held down in various areas because of it.
I think when you look through the audit that we got, I was surprised at how much, extra that departments, they had not spent down. I know there was some that was over, but as a rule, I was surprised at, the excess at the end of the year in
Agreed. All right. Second quarter finance report.
I don't have that.
Big thick packet on your table. Joey. Sorry, I should have pointed that out to you earlier. Yeah, that's from
Did
Joey.
you want to review that?
So,
This is from the auditor.
Oh.
So. I think we have to.
Does she have a summary page or is she just?
I know, that's,
I think that's the quarterly report. Do we place that on file? We forward that to the
Usually
county,
prove it.
we approve it, then we forward it to the full board? No.
She just
departments.
prove it.
So move.
Alright, second,
Second.
second by Gary. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Motion carries. Next thing, the outside auditor.
No summary, is there?
Each department.
Alright, says bid opening and recommendation. Do we need attorneys or something like that?
So we don't
No,
have.
the attorney will approve the
Well,
one that you
it would be
guys,
in that,
you know.
yeah, it would be in that.
Alright, we received 5 bids. So we got 4 copies here. Hand out a few of them.
Well, why don't you just go through
That's all they gave me.
Yeah.
the name of the firm and the price to begin with. Then we'll look at the low one, actual,
Okay.
because Mark's gonna review all of them, isn't he?
I hope so. So the first one I've opened is with FLI. Woodfly?
Where are they at, Grand Rapids?
Sterling. Um, Okay, so. Put this on scratch first. The bid for Whitfly, 2020 audit. First year is 44,400. 2021, 44,400, and year 3, 44,400.
Did they bid on the circuit court?
Yes. The circuit clerk is 5,600 for all 3 years. So basically 50,000 for the circuit clerk audit and our audit.
So, can we back, how many bids do we have?
5, I believe.
So there's 5.
1, 2, actually it looks like there's 4.
4.
4.
And what's the range? High to low?
Right now I just opened one.
Oh, you're just opening, okay.
Yeah,
How much was the first one?
it was $44,400 all 3 years. And then the circuit clerk one is $5,600, so the total will be $50,000. All right, number 2. Okay, this is Atlas Firms. The bidder is Lonnie Woodley, managing partner of Atlas CPA and Advisors. They're from Marion, Illinois. Okay, for the audit of the county, it says basic, and then parentheses, consolidated financial statements for the year. It says, November, actually, 2020, 50,000, 2021, 52,500, and 22, 55,000.
Where is Atlas from?
Marion, Illinois.
Huh?
Marion,
Illinois?
that's what he said.
Yep. Looks like they're a larger company too. Because there's also an insurance manager out of Phoenix, Arizona, and an insurance manager out of Brighton, Colorado. So maybe either satellite offices.
That must include the court center?
The circuit clerk, I'm guessing.
You know, I don't see where, you know, I'll hand these out in a second. I don't see where it says that, Gary. Okay. This is Waterbach and Heyman, Naperville.
What is their address? There's town.
Naperville, 668 North River Road. Okay. Sorry, I have two different proposals here. Have someone help look, and a couple copies of it. Look and see what you think. So if you go to the back, go to back to page 21 and then page 30. Do you see that? Page 21 and page 30?
I wanna go off the one that's signed, cause one's signed and one's not.
I would agree with you. Joyce? What do you
I'm
think?
still looking.
21 and page 21 and page 30.
Yes.
Would we go with the signed?
I am gonna bet that they reference in here something that they're.
$10 in the cookie jar.
Free Starbucks coffee for everybody, Tom.
Donuts today.
I'm gonna bet
There
there's
was
some
plenty of
reference in here that says why, whatever references the appendix, that they're gonna include something that causes the price to go up. Look.
Okay.
Oh, they got circuit court broke out.
Oh, okay.
Would someone want to look at my copy? Yes. Someone?
No, if you guys are.
I mean, huge difference.
Not just $100, well, like somebody did a typo or something.
It was summary sheet.
What's it say?
Six thirty, we'll have the same dates.
It's one we want, because they got us confused, we knew what we gotta pay them, so it's really cool.
Well, one says Carter, and it's not signed, that one says Manning.
Because they've done it at the highway before, when they need clarification, they actually call it this.
Yeah.
I don't know whether any consideration has been given to the idea of possibly we get a summary sheet prepared, that would,
No, they did. They're following our summary sheet.
no, I don't mean on them specifically, but I mean for us on all of these, so we're sure that there's no,
So
okay, all
what are
right, we
they
got it.
adding on that's
Thank you.
making the appendix?
Yes, Tom, I'm,
There's gotta be something they're adding,
but the,
you know what I'm
the
saying?
problem is they've got two different numbers in here.
Yeah,
But it
well,
doesn't explain it. It doesn't know. Unless you can find a page that.
Ugh.
Suggestion,
Yeah, Joyce?
we have this issue that we have with this, but I agree with Tina that the price of the building is the price of the building, it's, the
Yeah.
appendix is the appendix.
The appendix has to be that they're adding something onto it, but I don't see.
I don't see anything referenced in here with my quick glance, so I say we proceed, record the bid at what it is in price and billing with some clarification we need to get. And, we'll see.
I would agree with you, but the one is actually signed in the appendix, and the other one's
And
not.
that is odd too, that one's signed and one isn't.
I would probably go with a signed copy versus,
I would,
Use that as.
I agree with you though that, Chairman, you had
Mr.
something?
Chairman, many times I've been at the highway bid letting, and they will actually break away and call to get clarification, so that's not out of the norm to do something like that if there's a question on a bid.
You want me to go call?
Joyce, would you like to call?
Probably gonna do that. Can I use your phone?
Yes.
And then can I, care if I move on?
Yeah, move on.
Alright. Well, there's time.
Oh, I'm sorry, there's five. I'm sorry. I have it all, I have it all.
There's five.
on there.
Yeah, you said 5 bids to begin with.
Yeah, I changed my mind.
Don't look at me like that.
This is Fraser Company CPAs.
Where?
They're from Ottawa, 601 West North Drive.
Say your name again, I'm sorry.
Fraze and Company,
Fraze.
Fraze. Okay, this one is counting the circuit clerk audit. In 2020, 60,000, 2021, 63,200, and 2022, 66,500. That is proposal 3. There is a proposal 1 without the circuit clerk, and then there's a proposal 2 with just the circuit clerk.
First number is regular inclusive. Both of them.
Yeah. Would you like to know the numbers about? It's basically, I think, $5,000. Yes. It's, the circuit clerk audit is $5,000.
How much was counted?
55 the first year.
Thank you.
Then, yeah, so 60,000, 60,000, 63,200, and 66,500. All right. All right, this is CLA, which is Clifton Larson Allen LLP. They're out of Peoria. Okay, so. So the proposal Form 3, which is the, including the circuit clerk audit, which is $10,000. For 2020, it's 69,900. For 2021, it's 72,100. And for 2022, 74,700. That's proposal 3. Proposal 2 is just if they did the circuit clerk audit, it would be 13,000 a year. Then the next year 13,500, the next year 14. And proposal 1 is just the county without the circuit clerk, and that's 65,900, 67,900, and 69,900. Everybody hear me okay? So, okay.
Can you go back and get, Joyce, did you have?
I'm waiting on a callback.
Okay,
They're working from home and the person that answered the phone said, I gotta get a hold of somebody to call you back, so. Wait.
but we're not gonna accept anything today, it's gonna all be reviewed by our station attorney, correct?
Well, I think what we're gonna do is, we'll probably make a motion to accept and send to the full board, pending legal review. I talked to Amanda yesterday about it, asked her if she could keep it on the agenda, because maybe they're gonna be able to turn it around in a day. I doubt it, but
Can I make a suggestion, kid? Just for clarity, whatever we do, but could they summarize each person that made a bid and then have our recommendations? As opposed to just throwing the only one that we picked? You follow me?
No.
So when we make our motion before, we say we receive these 5 proposals and we recommend X. So we share with them the 5 proposals as best we can.
right, that would be this, that's gonna be this sheet, and
Okay.
we'll sign it, and they'll have full discretion.
So we'll disclose that, then our recommendation that we go with.
But, I mean, I think the motion will be like, we recommend this portion, and if someone else wanted to.
Well, as long as they got the information that we had when we made our proposal, that's fine. That's all I'm asking.
I haven't wrote anything down yet either, I'm gonna go back through one more time. Like to pass some of this stuff out, if that's okay. I got 1 copy, so there's 3 other copies, we'll go back. Backwards.
Has anybody reviewed them to show that they're compliant with our requested bid proposal?
Just open it,
We
we
just
just
really,
opened and sealed them, so.
No, I understand, but is somebody gonna review them?
yeah,
And assure that they're compliant with the proposal that we sent out?
you guys wanna share a couple?
Property we've seen proposals.
Thank you.
Want to hand that thing back?
Yeah, let me put my mask on, be all diligent here.
Well,
Here you go. Okay,
Brian, is there any representative to these people here today?
I think they just left.
Yeah.
Who
One
were they?
just left.
Oh, yeah, you gotta make sure.
Who were they?
The local firm.
From Ottawa?
So they only gave me 1 copy, so I'm gonna hold on to that. It's only like 3 pages.
Take a chance of losing it.
Wasn't that part of the specs that they were to supply copies? Wasn't that part of the bid specs, they were to send so many copies in?
Yes.
Then they're out of compliance already.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're
They're done?
not the cheapest one.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Lauterbach one I've got one other copy here. Who else would like to see the water clock?
We've seen that.
Loretta, if you want to talk about
Is
this?
that, oh, is that the one that we got a
Here's
question
one I
on?
got.
No,
You got
that's
one?
what we find out. Okay, no, we got one. Sorry.
Would you guys like to review the water clock one?
Because I don't understand.
Good.
You guys good? Okay. Okay, how about the width one? Chris, you want a copy?
Is that the apparent holder?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
That was the very first one.
I got a question, Brad. While we're doing this,
Thanks.
question maybe for Joyce. With the different prices, ranges that we have, are there more services added or not getting from the auditors, like helping with reports?
That was included in the bid, that they would be available to answer questions.
Yeah, your support, they would be there for you? That's all in
That was
that.
what we did.
Make copies of any head or you good?
Okay.
I don't see anything here that doesn't indicate they would not comply with that. In these,
That's what I was looking for. If there's more help with other.
Actually, yes, it is.
Oh, what?
No, they're larger together.
Big part.
My guess is it wasn't supposed to be in there.
Truck, I use one of these at truck time. Very happy. You want to ask for the copy? Look,
Okay, this is the Atlas.
oh, okay, thank you.
You'd also like to see the Atlas bid? Atlas?
Oh, I'm
That's
still,
the Atlas. No.
that's the other one.
Okay, another, anybody have Atlas?
Here, let me see that.
Okay, I got. Okay.
See, on the other ones, the appendix is the same as the bill sheet. This one, appendix is the same as the bill sheet for that reference. So I don't know why that one's different. In the back, there's an appendix and it has the same billing. So I don't understand. That would be travel or something, like that. It's way too much for travel. What the difference was.
Yeah, but these ones, it says all,
Because this one here is talking about travel, it's part of the bid,
travel.
but I didn't see that on that one, so I wonder.
The single audit, it says, rate. Statements 38, single audit, circuit court.
But that's confusing to me also, Mr.
Single
Small.
audit is required for federal funds.
Oh,
For any of the grants that are federal funds, we're required to do the single audit. And we have a lot.
okay, that's what that is.
Oh, okay.
What's the difference between two pages? What was the difference between the two amounts again?
Right up.
For.
Yes, Tom.
Yeah, do we, have any portion of this that to be in compliance with state law requires that we turn in a certain form? Does that place any obligation on them to produce that type of document? Or is that strictly an in-house type thing that we have to pull together later?
Could you ask that again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, does this stipulate that they prepare any type of documentation for the state? Because this is a compliance thing that we're doing with state law. So does, in complying, we have to produce this document, but do we have also a form that we have to prepare, or a booklet, whatever it would be, to send on to the state?
Absolutely.
Okay, now, is that included in this? Are they preparing that also, or are they just preparing an audit and just throwing it at us and we have to pick it apart and go from there?
I did not include anything that was submitted to like the comptroller that we have to do every year,
Right,
because it's not hugely complicated. It's something that we would certainly do in-house.
Well, I was just, trying to save any more internal repercussions that we might have from the state. We might interpret some line item that they put in there incorrectly. And therefore, we would be at fault, even though they had given us the proper documentation. We're not under the same, no,
If we accept.
they don't suppose that we have on the auditing field. I just always look at those signs,
Accept that.
having a problem down the road.
I
Remember, that's how we do it.
That's how we do it.
Or you have.
I can't hear this one.
It's not something I would think would make or break us.
Okay.
So,
I'm just trying to save as much time for us as I can. It's the process we're paying for this.
See if that part
Yeah.
keeps.
Then we have to reinterpret.
That's right.
You don't have to read it.
Black Lives Matter. We want to see that in all their cars.
Thank you.
I reviewed the bar this year.
I don't know. Well, I would say.
Spend time on it.
Yeah, for all three. I don't think I got it first.
Cumulative bills, we will.
Also. Who's got your first one? The first one is,
all 3 years.
who did that?
They're from Sterling.
So,
L.I.
can I call him back?
Pardon me?
Can I call him back?
Can you call him back?
With me.
I can call him.
You can call him, go ahead.
Per year, it's
Does it separate them there in that one, Gary, or not? I'm just wondering what is it, what that is? If it doesn't separate it.
150 is the lowest cumulative contract.
This first one, right?
Yeah, the first one. With three-year cumulative contract is the first
So
one.
Matt was not able to propose in this.
They were in. And by law, you
I'm wondering if
you
it's the
can
courts.
do that, you can carve out and only like when it comes to fiscal responsibility.
Because it's $4,000.
Yeah, it's cease and go,
The campaign.
ain't nothing there. They're out. Let me contact them. See what we can do.
There's a Confederate flag in the mail for you.
My dad is like, we have stickers. So this is the cheapest.
What year in this building?
Unless I take the first bid out there.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Well, yeah, I think the unsigned bid is cheaper.
It's cheaper.
All
But it's
4
cheaper,
years.
but I don't know if it has the courts in it. That's what we got.
It does.
Oh, it does, okay.
3,700
Okay, great.
on that one.
That's not how it works.
But that goes to,
65.
Well, my guess is this is the only signed one, so that this guy, this was in the report, this guy got it, added his margin in there, his partner, and that's the one he signed. That's how they do it, figure out, this is what it costs.
This is,
And
why
that's
would they
his
show us?
juice.
Why would they
Well,
show
it's
it
a
to us?
mistake,
Yeah.
it's not signed. That wasn't supposed to be in there. Unless there's some language between here
I
and
don't see, I mean,
there.
there's very little in there really that,
Yeah, here's the Atlas.
Is nobody answering?
Here's the summation of the Atlas contract.
Which number?
50, 52,
Joyce, did you talk to Jeanette?
Jeanette Kaiser, from Marion.
No.
Jeanette, it's,
Yeah, that's Marion.
You're driving here from Marion.
343-7474.
Those-
Century.
those stay.
Okay, so are they to the bid? Alright. That's what they're trying to do.
they're too low.
I don't know why you're saying that, and it's their.
We have the lowest bid.
Yes.
I don't give a shit.
Who's the lowest?
They are,
So they should.
Yeah, I know.
yeah. So we just need to know which one it is.
That's a hard question.
So we really
Good
can't,
business.
I mean, you could
I'm
vote
accustomed, Kurt.
on that.
I mean, either one is low. Either one
It's
is.
good, I have a.
It's so strong.
Differences?
You really.
Yeah, you could. Maybe bring one of them in immediately. I'm familiar with Lauterbach. They do pensions.
So much money when they don't.
Yeah, they primarily, I think they do a lot of the pensions. I know.
Oh, we gotta determine how much they should have. If they have too much, we gotta take it
Brian,
away.
wanted to see if one of us-
She just wanted to go.
Oh,
So I guess the other question I have.
Right.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
No, I do appreciate it, because your business model.
Did you find?
I found there's three, items.
As a business.
Clifton Marsh Canal is one of them.
You don't really bullshit, it's been excellent. You just want to make sure.
My business is also like,
Yeah, you do. You're a salesman.
Yeah.
Well, that's the Lauterbach one, that's probably the lowest bid. And I've heard them before, they do a lot of pensions, local pensions.
Correct.
I still care about that. This is what I want.
Right.
I mean, you spend
Go on.
those lines of business. And I am a customer.
Can I see if I can't Mark Anderson on the
I
phone?
don't care. about it.
Yes.
That's as far as I see it.
That's as far They don't, do they take that?
Well, they just time each department.
They say no.
Yeah,
Yes.
they go in and they bring it in.
Consider outside rate. Yes. Those things I can bring in. Usually.
They're just different probably different kind of hit. This one doesn't.
What, are you planning on doing this before a full board?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, not now.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you're gonna set a schedule meeting on the full board on Thursday for finance.
Yes,
to move
we
that
have to report in our
Like
meeting.
half an hour before.
Yeah.
Do you think Mark will get things done?
I don't
think so either.
It's not gonna
Done
happen.
by August. I know this is the city.
Yeah.
But it's a great idea.
So the federal government wants us to look at.
There's a lot to go over.
Yeah. Specific example for them.
NCIG or webcam, either one you want to do.
That's a requirement.
Probably webcam.
Not a-
All right, let's move on to get a couple other things done. Mark Anderson just pulled into the parking lot. Mark just pulled in the parking lot. We're gonna bring him upstairs. with this. Let's talk about the webcam, really fast. We just have to figure out where the webcam is gonna come from, paying for it.
Okay, so I just give a brief explanation if you don't mind.
Sure.
This webcam was given to us by IT. They bought it for us the second, when we had to get a second webcam, because sometimes there's 2 meetings at once. So the second webcam, we need to figure out where we're gonna pay this from.
Roughly how much are they, I mean,
I think it was like $100 something. It was, they weren't much.
well, that would be a COVID reimbursement, would it not?
Right. So,
So move.
That's fine.
Motion by
Second
Rita,
finance can give it to her.
motion by Rita, second by Tom, COVID-related expense in order to conduct, public meetings. Any discussion on that?
Make sure you couch that with concerning public health.
Well, yeah, concerning public health, yeah, it's serious. Get all that?
Yeah.
Right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? Motion carries. And we may not be able to get all this done by the time Mark gets in, but NCICG annual membership fee in the amount of $9,371.14.
Have they been doing better? Our money's worth for
I was
that.
just gonna say that, are they doing better?
What
Right
did we
now,
utilize that for?
they're working on a grant for the corner, which I have no problem saying openly that they botched it.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the only thing that I'm aware of that's going on, and we may not have an answer on that till I think in September.
I think they're working on that, hazard mitigation plan.
They got us, they have to.
They've got that done.
Well, it's
How
not
much-
completely
how much
done
did
yet because they gotta go back. The state has to review it and then send it back.
And how much will that be if we get?
That's only like $16,000.
That is a,
But-
Our portion was only 5,000.
Did I understand from last year's comment that you pay so much if you're a member to have something done, and you pay so much if you're a non-member to have something done?
You still pay over and above this.
Yes,
But it's
yes.
higher priced if you're not a member.
I just don't, I'm not sure we're getting our money's worth, and I,
or do we use them enough?
and I didn't think we were.
I agree with you, but maybe on a different level, I don't think we apply for enough grants.
That's what I was gonna say, do we use them enough? Do we
Really?
buy and use them enough?
I don't think we try to really get out there and get after it, because we don't have a point person sometimes when it comes to those types of things.
But aren't they supposed to be kind of a point person
Yeah.
for us?
If we ask them to be,
And that would be another cost.
but we ask, we never really follow up and say, hey, there's a recreational grant, they could put a dock in, or help build a shelter, things like that, and I just don't think we've ever really,
There's a lot of grants for parks.
parks,
A
we
lot.
never go after this.
But you have to have your share before you apply for a grant.
Do they help you become aware of the grants at all? How do you find out what the grants are? Who
They,
does that?
they kind of watch those grants.
Do you notify us, hey, this is coming up?
I get emails from them, yeah.
I've never seen one.
I've never seen
NCICG,
Mhm.
okay.
That would be helpful.
So what are we applying, what's the corner applying for?
He is applying for a grant that give him monies to purchase an existing building that he could modify into more.
But we don't have matching money for that, do we?
I don't think there's much matching in it, is there, Joyce?
I have not seen one.
I don't think so, and it even covers some equipment to supply it. Now, he understands that it could happen, it could not happen, just depending on the expenses. But he's a perfect example, where he comes to me, he wants some more, I send them to them saying, go see what you can get for a grant. And he's been all over it for 2 years, doing everything he can to try to get grant money.
Mike, you had something you wanted to add?
I have been working when I was on county property two, or I'm sorry, safety two with the coroner, and trying to work through the complexities. This is a federal grant through the state of Illinois. And there are, as Mr. Olson mentioned, a whole bunch of categories that the money can be spent on. It's not specific. If he wants to buy a building, he can buy a building. He wants to buy equipment. If he just wants to put it in for just general labor costs, that's also included in the spending. So it's a matter of interpretation with the coroner and the committee to actually govern how this is going to work out. And with our grant administrating office now through our financial director, it's going to be a very supportive group of people that we can get this cash available. It's a win-win, and we really don't need NCICG for that. It's a first come, first served basis down in Springfield. So what's happening now is as the federal monies are available, those that are in power, that have grant administrators within their government, they grab the money first, and then we end up at the bottom of the pole, trying to grab what's ever left, if there is anything left. That's what happened in the last application. There was nothing left.
Now, there was a grant that he was working on for a new building, but you have to be shovel ready, which means we would have had to have a lot of hearing done. We would have had to spend quite a bit of money to apply for that grant and have it available. So that was a grant they looked at, but it was determined we were not shovel ready.
And they call it the Paul Coverdale Forensic Science Improvement Grant Program. And unfortunately, through this here program, as Mr. Olson just explained, we've got to be proactive in getting the free money.
Oh, I'm sure there's gonna be quite a bit of it available.
Tom?
Yeah, back to the whole concept, I thought that, we had agreed that we were going to do a study to find out whether or not this was gonna be cost effective. I mean, the point is, figures have been thrown around for the last 2 or 3 years or longer, that, this is what we need, this is what we need. But I think we need a cost efficiency, because building it is one thing, operating it is another. I mean, it was just, example down in the past. I mean, the new jail that we built a number of years ago, okay, that was built, we had the money. After we built it, we didn't have the money to staff it. And those are the kind of things that I think we have to look ahead to. And to
Isn't
have
he already overspent in his, do you still have that report from the auditor? Isn't he overspent in his coroner fees?
If I may address that also.
We addressed this last year, and I thought we put a foo-foo on the whole thing,
Yeah, I-
because we didn't have the monies to do the day-to-day operations. We didn't feel we did.
Not to belabor the point, but that was with us coming up with the cash to build the morgue, as presented by Mr. Plock. The county paying for it, correct, absolutely. That, at that time, there was no recommendation through any committee then to move forward with building our own morgue. This, again, as this became more of a subject with Rick and our coroner, the Paul Coverdale grant was then available and the spending available, which would have then been free money. They have until June 19th of 2020 to apply for this grant. And I don't know right now if the coroner has gotten any paperwork together to apply for it.
The one on the existing building is applied for, wait.
Well, he can use the money, and what his hope is that he can work with the Waltham School District to buy the school downtown Utica and then repurpose it, which this grant will let you use the money for that. You're supposed to be working on that.
But again, it's great to have that, but how do we maintain it, the day-to-day cost?
I don't know that he explained it well, but my understanding is, and we will go through this before any decisions made, that the savings that he claims will be made, doing autopsies here versus going to Bloomington, I think would cover the cost that you're concerned about, Rita.
No, it's 52,000 that they spent on transport last year. That doesn't cut it. Where else will we be saving? We're going to have the doctor come. We're going to have all the supplies.
Well,
And the
I
only
think
savings
you'll
I
have to
see,
represent that. My understanding was, what I seen, I believe that they would cover the daily expenses with savings. But we'll have him bring that back again when we get to that point. This could all be for nothing, he may not get the grant, nothing could happen.
Yeah, I thought we had addressed the grant concept sometime back where we were gonna require that every grant the county applied for in relationship to bricks and mortar was gonna have to come before the full board before the application could be made. I mean, I think we got the cart before the horse. We're going for the grant, you know.
I don't think they will. Might be right.
No.
I believe that we asked the coroner to bring forth to us what it would cost to run the morgue for a year. Be it air conditioning, be it electric, be it
Insurance for the building.
insurance, if it's gonna be off-site, are we gonna have to have security there? The building's gonna have to be. I guess I thought that whole thing was dead at that point. But let me say this, I'm not opposed to a morgue, but just financially, I don't understand why we're moving forward on it if we don't know that we can sustain it.
I could see an emergency morgue, and the fact that we currently have a trailer at a county building now that is owned by the state that they could pull away at any minute. And it just kind of hampers our ability to run that department a little bit, so I could see there being a spot for a building in case there was some.
Where is that trailer now? It's not Leon.
It's out in the parking lot.
Oh, that's the one that was in Leon. We did the shelves on.
That they pulled anyway.
I have 2 cents to add.
Sure.
I don't wanna see all these individual counties running off on their own, and if we can't cooperate with Bureau, Livingston, Lee, somebody to assist in this more, instead of trying to run our own, I'd be opposed to it. We've gotta get more cooperation in the other taxing bodies and get revenue in here, so it's not a guess. Or if we make a mistake on our guess, there's other people involved that have all additional revenue that can make it work. But just running one on our own with the hope that maybe we can entice Vero or Livingston to come here for their morgue as opposed to go to Bloomington. Let's get them under contract and require them to come here. Or they own part of it, they'll be here anyway. But just to build ours and then hope that the others come has not worked very well anywhere. Not just here.
There are changes pending. In this last session of the legislature, there was a bill in to go with medical examiners, which would be moving up a step. I believe there's only a medical examiner in Cook County right now. But that point being that would encompass a larger area than just one county. And it would be one individual that would be responsible. Now, the medical examiner doesn't have to be a pathologist or doesn't have to be able to perform autopsies or anything like that. But the point being that it's an upgrade to the whole concept. I mean, the coroner's been around since Robinville, it's not a modern approach to the whole process. Plus, we tried to make arrangements with Grundy County in past years because they have a morgue. And I've discussed it with the coroner over there before. And he is willing to sit down and talk about, contracting. He's mentioned that to me more than once.
Can we get back to the NCIC?
Yes, that's.
So I was gonna say, we really need a motion for it.
All right,
I wanna make one thing clear. All he did was apply for a grant. No one's agreeing to spend money or build anything. All that would come back through the proper channels if he gets the grant. That's all he's trying to do, is see if he can get a grant, and then all these concerns will have to be readdressed again before anything's done. So it's not like he's gonna go do something without coming back and getting the okay from you guys and all the other proper committees.
But I just feel like he's putting the cart before the
Yeah.
horse.
okay. All right, you have a motion to pay NCICG $9,371.14. Gary makes that motion. I have a second.
I'll second
Tino seconded.
it, as long as we use them.
So discussion, not the corner, but NCICG.
Question.
Yeah.
Could we inquire as to whether or not they have another step in this process where, there'd be an automatic review by them, of grants that are available? I mean, as was mentioned earlier, people feel that we're not getting advantage of grants that are out there. And my thought being that, we need more help in that area of determination as to what's technically available. And since they're basically, in the grant business, you might say, that, what beside applying are we paying for?
Okay, well, this would, I think, the membership fee,
Well,
so.
Do they give us a list every year, I wonder, of grants? I mean, I don't know how it works, or do we just contact them? I guess I'm not really.
I think we contact them. I don't know, like, what list is out there, Joyce?
Grants come out constantly. You can go to grants.gov and you can search for grants all day. They come out all the time. It's not like they come out on a regular date or anything else.
So there isn't like a date where they release all of them, so they're just, okay.
No. But you can get on grants.gov and you can search to your heart's content. There's thousands of them out there.
I mean, maybe you've already answered this question, but do they give us an annual list of the grants they were successful in getting us for our $9,000?
No, we brought them in once, remember? Was that a few months ago? Did we bring
That
them
was
in?
last year, and it wasn't really anything for county governments.
Yeah, that's what they told us at that time.
And, I'm surprised they're not here this year to sell themselves for $9,000.
Well, maybe we'll make a motion, well, we've already had a motion on the table.
Wait, wait, when's the fee due? When, they're a state,
July 1st. July 1st, 2020. And motion to table, it's always in order.
That's why I'm wondering if we can't bring them in next month and have them talk to us.
I'd like to make a motion to table it until they give us a listing of the grants they've accomplished for us for our $9,000, or whatever language would say what we received for our $9,000. Actually, not just we apply here, apply there, what we actually got. So however that language would go, I would make a motion to table this motion until we receive that accounting. But I don't really.
I'll make a second to that. I have a question though for Gary. When I started a nursing home, we were always involved in grants down there for nursing home. There's been nothing down there for some time, has there?
No, we got a grant for,
We didn't do a roll call vote on that one.
through them. Then we got a grant
We didn't do a roll call vote on
Bill
it.
Levy,
The NCICG,
Study.
because we did a motion
Yeah,
to pay the
was turned
membership.
back.
Motion
It's like we
second.
didn't have a.
Matching.
But there was no, you didn't do a roll call vote. So you paid, or you
And
needed money.
years ago, I believe we got a grant.
Okay. So now they're tabling it.
Did we decide the water tank too or something?
Yeah, build a new water tower.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to table. Previous motion. All in favor? Table?
Aye.
Looks like it's unanimous. Tom stepped out. So,
Mr. Chairman, would
Yes.
you be the one contacting them, or how are we gonna handle that?
I can contact him. I'm just looking up tabling really fast. Making sure I'm 100% right here. All right, so motion's tabled.
$20, all right.
And it's tabled to the
Sorry
next.
about that.
I'm sorry.
Get your grant.
So we're gonna put it on the next meeting we have, so the motion will go to the next meeting. So. Okay, I talked really fast to Mark, he walked up there and he said, you gotta go with the signed contract. So I wrote the numbers in. Signed it, like, so, and that's this resolution, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna pass around a resolution.
I'm sorry, what was the figure for water box?
48,500, 49,900, 51.
That's including circuit clerk,
Yes,
included.
yes.
Read them again, Gary. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
48,500, 49,900, and 51,400.
Thank you.
That's just 1 year, right?
No,
3 years.
3 years. It's a 3
So
year.
who is, gotta add these up to see who is the cheapest.
Yeah, that's right. Figure it out.
It's gonna be the first one. That WIPFLI.
What, wait, I don't know. It's gonna be
Oh,
close.
no, it's gonna go to this water. Yeah, it's. Wait a minute.
First one was 5,600.
Yeah, it's gonna be the.
Yeah,
like
$200 cheaper.
$200 cheaper.
So you got your,
Who's cheapest?
The
One that
water
we had a
bottle.
question on.
he's $200 cheaper.
How do you spell that?
LEU, TER,
Thank you.
and then BACH.
Actually, we should go with CLA.
So we're going to, can I have a motion to forward this, this is as a resolution, to our full county board pending legal review.
So moved.
By Tom, seconded by Gary. Any discussion on this? David, you have something?
I'm on the committee. Has anybody had past experience working with any of these $200?
Only thing I know that the water block does pensions. only thing of all the firms, I'm in there for the
Would there be any problem, or even addressing, is there anyone with a conflict of interest within government right now that we would know that would have past experiences with any of the bids that are out right now? Through their business or any of that kind of stuff, is that something to consider? Or they would just have to abstain from the vote when we do hire them?
They would abstain.
Okay.
But that's a good point. Thank you.
Sorry,
Yep, anything else?
they're gonna be working with the Joyce this year. Don't do with their.
I think we have to go by the lowest bid, as long as they meet the professional standards and signed off by legal. All right, and any further discussion? It'll be a roll call vote. So, Marita,
And this is pending
Yes.
our looking at it, right?
Tom?
Aye.
Kurt?
All right.
Gary?
Aye.
Tina?
Aye.
I am also in the affirmative. Thank you.
Do we need to sign this?
No.
There is.
There is a grant, but I didn't know if you wanted us to sign it either.
Yeah, I think
No,
she
right
puts
in
it in her file. Right in front.
These, see, yeah, it's just.
Thanks. Also, you don't have that additional line item, do you? It's like reform.
No, I never got that. Thank you.
Hey, does anybody have that green, like a new additional deleted line item form? That's the original, and I have to sign it.
We gotta, yeah, thank you.
There you go, Tom, try to take it home.
Don't let it lay out, just.
There's
Oh,
that.
I
And
agree.
that,
Thank you.
need to sign.
We need to sign it.
Second sheet.
Did you get those transfers?
Yeah, I have my pile-
Okay.
pile of mailings.
Brian,
Yes, Mark.
they're gonna call me back, they just can't seem to track down the right person. So I just asked them for clarification, and they're gonna call me back. You wanna talk about it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we just did it.
Would you recommend something these two? Kurt, would you recommend?
The cheapest, which is
Oh,
that.
you guys signed it.
Well, we still need to know which is
We never, yeah, I never specified
the number.
the number in the motion.
Yeah, I gave my number, they're supposed to call me back when we will report back here, and then I'll have them confirm an email, so that, you know, don't have to take my.
And then, as long as you're here, so the motion is it goes to legal review.
Mhm.
And you'll be able to review it. You probably will be able to get to it by Thursday.
Like before 1 o'clock.
Here,
I was gonna say, here, I was just gonna hand it to you.
There you go, you're done.
you might as well just take it in.
Nothing like pressure.
Yeah, no pressure or anything.
Okay, so as soon as,
Second.
I hear that, I will come back in.
Oh, second page.
Yes.
Let them know.
Okay. This one, I don't remember who made the motion.
What is this one?
Oh, the new line item says Gary, and the team are the second. Can you verify that? Okay,
Gary and Tina, yes.
Already done.
as far as, is there anything with credit cards? Other additional grants, contracts, none? No budget amendments, nothing with fees? Anything from the auditor's office?
Just that report probably that was signed.
Senate House bills? Talked a little bit about yesterday.
Yeah, there's bills out there pending, I mean, they're pretty much, dead, you might say, for now, the ones that are still, there's no activity, until the veto session, which is usually the last weekend in October and the first week in November. So, until that rolls around and everything is wiped off the slate and they start over again. And, there's a lot of these bills right now that haven't made it to committee yet. And of course, they can be renumbered and brought back in next year in January when they start the new session. So, that's about it, except the ones that have already passed.
Okay. All right. How about unfunded mandates? Nothing? Or unpaid state reimbursements? Have they been pretty on track? How about the marijuana sales tax? Has that been coming through okay, you think?
No, we have, well, this is the month we're supposed to receive the actual tax from people buying marijuana. We have been receiving on a regular monthly basis for the retail occupation tax for the distributors. And so that's like $2,200 a month. So we're up to about $8,000 we've gotten on that. But that's separate and apart. They announced a long time ago that July would be the month that we would get the distributions for
There's
this.
always a line there, so there should be money.
Well, it's early. It's early.
Yeah.
And then also, does anybody have the public safety sales tax information I handed out?
Right here.
Okay, thank you, Gary. Okay. Is there anything else for the good of the order? Michael?
Just as we are all serving on different committees, that our financial director made mention of this early on, is we should encourage and get back as to find out what funding we are going to have available through this here health, economic, pandemic, yada, yada, however we want to consider that, so that each committee understands the impact, and then we at least keep records of what we think is a reportable expense. We may be dropping the ball on getting some monies available, because this is an ever-changing dynamic that we're looking at what finances are available through state and federal funds and grants. We have to keep that kind of in the back of our heads, because there's certain things, just as you talked about the purchase of a camera, there could be an opportunity at IT, as Tina, or at county property. We're going to have our board meetings. It seems it's going to be the new normal, that we might be able to get a whole brand new system that corresponds with the study that we're involved with, paid for, because it's a health requirement now, protection of the general public. Government's got a lot of opportunity right now to bolster our infrastructure, et cetera, pay for our employees' wages, et cetera. So this stuff is available. We have to keep that kind of centered as to our spending and the gifting from the federal government. The bacon coming back to the community.
Well, one of the things, and keeping that in mind, Mike, one of the things that, for example, the county clerk, she could buy a new postage machine, to process.
For the mail and voting,
Yeah.
And now, did this stuff have to go through 28 first and then go into that?
Depends on how much it costs.
Okay, so it
This-
depends
this-
where we would take it first and then get reimbursed from
She's
that.
actually gonna be getting 3 more tabulators for that. She got 3 at the end of this last year. It was like
Do you want me to call or you want to call?
She's looking at getting 3 more. So, I mean, if we can pump that up right now, that's a good thing.
So we might have to bump our property first and then it would get reimbursed through the
Thank you.
FEMA or whatever.
Right.
Okay. We have to pay bills. We got that motion to pay bills. Tina, second by Kurt, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Carries. All right, there's nothing else to go to order, motion to adjourn. Tom?
I would just like to bring up a point. I was here when the 1972 board decided to build these buildings up here and decided to actually purchase the property right at the road. And it was the original goal of them at that time, when they got to the phase of building these buildings out and moving the various offices, that they would build a building for record storage. And I just wanted to lay that out on the table for future reference, because I know that, there's a lot of things in the offing here as far as corrections that need to be made to various buildings that we now have. And a storage building would alleviate
a lot of problems, and that was the forethought at that time. Of course, since that time, there've been a lot of upgrades to record keeping also, and I realize that. But we still have to keep records, period, no matter what format they're in. And they're taking up more space, plus the fact that we have more obligations in regard to various offices in regard to types of equipment and so forth. And, we're just talking about that in relationship to the county clerk having more ballot counting equipment and that kind of thing. And that all requires space and storage. Presently, we don't have to outsource any of that, but years ago, we outsourced various things, such as the regional superintendent of schools office was outsourced at one time, was not in the county complex, and was a separate office off-site. And that is just an example of what's come along in past years, and what precipitated these buildings being built up here was the fact that there was a shortage of space. So that's all I have to say.
So on the record, he's for storage for more. All right, thank you for saying it, Tom.
I'm not ready.
All right, motion to adjourn? So moved. All right, second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're adjourned.
Okay,
Not even 11 o'clock.
see you Thursday.
Do you have any of the cash flow sheet?
Careful out here with the seat.